Hi everybody, I'm Dan Hilton. Today we're finishing our countdown of the top 50 players in FC Barcelona history. If you missed 50 through 11, head down to the description below and make sure you watch 50 through 11. Come back here because we've got our top 10 on tap today. Here's number 10. Paulino Alcántara, FC Barcelona's first superstar. Born in the Philippines, his family moved to Spain when he was 3 years old, and as a teenager he was discovered by Gamper. He debuted for Barcelona in 1912 as a 15-year-old in the Catalan Championship, scoring the first 3 goals in a 9-0 win. He left Barcelona in 1916 to return to the Philippines and played for Bohemian Sporting Club until he returned to Barcelona the following year. Alongside Josep Sementier and Ricardo Zamora in goal, Alcántara won 10 Catalan Championships and 5 Copa del Reys. He is 7th on Barcelona's all-time scoring list with 143 official goals. And his 369 total goals in 357 matches for Barcelona were the most in club history until Lionel Messi broke his record 87 years later. He was known for his powerful shot. In 1919, he scored the famous police goal, when a policeman found himself on the receiving end of a shot from Alcántara, and both the ball and the law officer were knocked into the net. While playing for Spain against France in 1922, a shot was blasted so hard that it ripped right through the net. He retired in 1927 and became a doctor, also serving as a club director from 1931 to 1934. We're in the top 10, so we're into the superlatives. Dani Alves is the most decorated player in football history with over 40 trophies. Prior to coming to Barcelona, Alves made his name in the Liga at Sevilla. He was the right back, but at Sevilla, he was regularly popping up like the attacking midfielder. He was one of the best players in La Liga, not just right backs. Barcelona came calling in 2008, and the Brazilian moved to the Camp Nou as one of the most expensive defenders in history at the time of the purchase. Barcelona won the treble in his first season, though Alves missed the Champions League final due to yellow card suspension. 2 years later, though, Barca again beat Manchester United, and Alves was involved in one of the greatest team performances the world had ever seen. He and Barcelona made it a third in 2015. In 8 seasons at the Camp Nou, Alves won 26 trophies with Barcelona before leaving for Juventus in 2016. He was close to the perfect modern attacking fullback. Physically, he had pace and durability. Technically, his overlapping runs were second to none, his crossing was superb, and his short passing was essential to the Blaugrana. He was the most valuable player of the tournament at the 2019 Copa America. Makes you wonder if he could still do it for Barca now. Born in Lyon, César Rodríguez joined Barcelona in 1939, but was forced to head to Granada for 2 seasons on military service. He helped the Andalusians get promoted to La Liga for the first time in their history. His first season in La Liga, he scored 23 goals in 24 games. When he finally did arrive in 1942, the goals continued to flow. He won his first of 5 La Ligas in 1944-45, scoring 15 goals in 24 matches. 13 seasons later, he had scored 232 official goals, still second on Barcelona's all-time list behind just Messi. One thing all great goal scorers seem to have in common is an incredibly powerful shot. Not only did the man nicknamed El Pelucas, the Wig Man, blast shots past goalkeepers with his feet, but his authoritative headers made him an all-around offensive force. He captured his only Pichichi trophy in 1948-49 with 27 goals in 24 games, though that number has been disputed at 28 goals. Either way, his goal scoring powered the Spaniard to 13 trophies, highlighted by the 5 trophies won in the 1951-52 season: La Liga, the Copa del Rey, the Latin Cup, the Copa Eva Duarte, and the Copa Martini Rossi. FC Barcelona has had some pretty tremendous captains, and Carlos Puyol may have been the best of the bunch. A right-back turned center-back, he joined La Masia in 1995 as a 17-year-old, making his first team debut 4 years later on October 2, 1999. He was never considered the best defender in terms of raw quality. He wasn't the quickest, but he could seemingly get to every ball. He wasn't the tallest, but you would always trust him in an aerial duel. Carlos Puyol sits at number 7 on this list because of what he means to the crest. Heart and desire are cliches in football, but with the Catalan, those 2 things actually mean something. He was a leader through and through, taking over the captaincy for the 2003-04 season, just his 4th season in the first team. He won 27 trophies at the club, including 3 Champions Leagues, 6 La Ligas, and 6 Copa del Reys. The 2010 World Cup and 2008 European Championship winner is probably most remembered for kissing the captain's armband in 2009 at the Santiago Bernabeu when Barcelona smashed their rival 6-2, and in 2011 when he let Eric Abidal, who had recently recovered from cancer, lift the Champions League trophy. In the case of László Kubala, it's easy to go down so many different roads before you begin talking about his Barcelona career. He was a refugee from Hungary in the midst of the Cold War, but he was also an excellent footballer. While playing for Hungary in 1950, a team formed by Kubala and coached by his brother-in-law Ferdinand Dausic, He traveled to Spain to play in friendlies and was scouted by Real Madrid and Josep Samitier of Barcelona. Samitier, using his connection to Franco, got the deal over the line. He had to wait until 1951 to make his debut, but once he did, the goals and trophies followed. He won 5 trophies in the 1951-52 season, scoring 26 goals in 19 games. He put 7 past Sporting Gijón and 5 against Celta de Vigo. A fight with tuberculosis almost ended his career early, but fortunately for everybody, he just missed most of the 1952-53 season. His 195 official goals are third behind just Messi and Cesar. His relationship with Helena Herrera may have been rocky, but they still won a La Liga and a Copa del Generalísimo in 1959 and a La Liga and Intercities Fairs Cup in 1960 together. Then Herrera sent him to the bench, but a loss in Europe to Madrid got Herrera the boot. The next season, 1961, Kubala helped Barcelona become the first club to beat Real Madrid in the European Cup. He returned as a coach after his retirement, to little success, but his 14 goals as a player are still remembered fondly. Current events complicate this selection, but Ronaldinho sits at number 5 on the list due to his Barcelona career as one of the greatest players of all time. He only played 5 seasons at Barcelona, but he was the talisman for the team that laid the groundwork for what Barcelona still is today. Juan Laporta brought the Brazilian to the club from PSG in 2003. He got his feet wet in Spain and took off in his second season. Barcelona won La Liga, and he won the FIFA World Player of the Year award, which he also won the next year. The next season was the one that made him a Barcelona legend, though. With Ronaldinho, it was never about how many of something, though he is credited with 70 La Liga goals and 94 total for the Blaugrana, but it is how he did his business. In November of 2005, he scored a brace and a 3-0 win over Madrid in the Spanish capital, leading to applause from the Madridistas. Just a little over a week later, he won the Ballon d'Or. That season, he also helped Barcelona win their second Champions League trophy, their first in 14 years. His legacy is in question at the moment, and it is a real shame, considering the enjoyment Culés got from his play on the field. When the small boy from Albacete came to La Masia in 1996, he hated being separated from his parents. Thankfully for all Culés, he stayed at Barcelona, and Andrés Iniesta became a legend. He got his first team debut in 2002 under Louis van Gaal, and with some patience, really started breaking into the team in the 2004-05 season, featuring in 37 of 38 games, largely off the bench. From then on, whether it was under Frank Rijkaard, Pep Guardiola, Tito Vilanova, Luis Enrique, or Ernesto Valverde, Iniesta was an automatic on the team sheet. The same can be said for his role with the Spanish national team, as his goal in the 2010 World Cup final won La Roja their first ever World Cup title. He won 32 trophies with the club and made 674 official appearances in the shirt, putting him third on that list. In one of those appearances, he scored a last-minute equalizer at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea, securing Barcelona a trip to the Champions League final in 2009. They went on to win his second of 4 Champions League titles. His departure in 2018 after winning the double was exactly the way that a legend would leave. When Johan Cruyff arrived in 1973 on a world record transfer fee, there was a feeling in the air that something had changed in Catalonia. He won La Liga in his first season with the club and was named the European Footballer of the Year. This league title was the club's first in 14 years, and in 1974, that memorable season was capped off by the 5-0 victory over Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu. Cruyff meant more to Barcelona than just his contributions on the field. He named his son Jordi, a Catalan name, and his brash attitude and confidence empowered Culés with a voice they hadn't had in years. Somehow the squad only won one more trophy with Cruyff as a player, the 1977-78 Copa del Rey. Incredible to think that he won the Ballon d'Or 3 times in his career, more trophies than he won with Barcelona altogether between 1973 and 1978. Returning as the first-team coach in 1988, his philosophies, influence, and legacy reshaped and redefined not only FC Barcelona, but all of football. He makes this list solely as a player, and it should be understood that the same desire for perfection that drove him as a player followed him throughout the rest of his life. Barcelona is a Spanish and Catalan club, and Xavi is arguably the greatest Spanish and Catalan player. He arrived in La Masia in 1991 and made his first team debut 7 years later in 1998 against Mallorca. 17 seasons later, he had won 32 trophies in a Blaugrana uniform and made 767 appearances, more than any other player in the shirt. The World Cup winning midfielder was voted third in 2009 for the FIFA World Player of the Year and third for the Ballon d'Or in 2010 and 2011. Not known for his goal scoring, he still scored 85 goals for the club. Xavi could control a match like none other. He exploited space with the ball, without the ball, and before the opponent knew what had happened. His 360-degree turn, the feints, retaining possession at all costs, these are all little tricks that became generational with Xavi's vision and passing. He was a metronome for Barcelona and a winner. 8 La Ligas, 3 Copa del Reys, and 4 Champions Leagues. The 2011 edition of the latter was his masterclass. He isn't just Barcelona's greatest midfielder, he's one of the greatest midfielders ever. Who else would be number 1 on this list? This list has featured some of the greatest players to ever play the game, and it's almost astounding how Lionel Messi's numbers compare to all the rest. He is second on the all-time appearance list behind just Xavi, and he should overtake him by the time he hangs up his boots. The current captain of the club, he has only ever played first-team football for Barcelona. Cesar scored 232 goals for Barcelona, second on the list, but Messi has already scored 627 goals for the club. This may be the shortest entry on this list, because this is the most secure spot on it. 6 Ballon d'Ors, 6 European Golden Shoes, 8 times the Liga's best player, 6 Pichichi trophies, 34 trophies and counting with the club, 10 La Ligas, 4 Champions Leagues, 6 Copa del Reys. I think we're done here. Who else but Lionel Messi would be number 1 on our list? The rest of the top 10, though, there might be a little bit of room for debate. I'd love to see some of that down in the comment section below. If you like this ranking and what you saw this week and want to see more videos like it, help this channel out by giving us a like and subscribe. And as always, until next time, Forza Barca.